honor of introducing our first act for the evening. I consider him to be a brother in arms, so to speak, a very talented young man who is filled with the Spirit and gifted with the gab, as one might say. He is actually a member of this very circuit and may be known to some individuals in this very room. He has been known to go on Premier Radio with his work, and I believe also with the BBC. If I say his full name, he will think I'm telling him off. However, because you don't know who he is, I sure have to say his full name. First off, we have Tremont
We're going to have some words, Zoe. Don't worry about that. How's everyone doing? How's everyone doing? Good. All right, that's what I like to hear. Okay. Tell me, what do you see when you look at me? No, genuinely, I want you to answer me. What do you see when you look at me? A man? What else we got? A man? A handsome young man. We're going to keep it that. That's very, very sweet. But did you know that this handsome young man has been struggling with life? Been conditioned from young to know that the mission in life is to have a wife, get a job that pays all the bills but still gives you enough space for quality time, get a high position in the 9 to 5 before they retire you at 65. Yeah, I know, right? People have your life planned out for you before you can even experience it. And to not upset anyone, I have to put on a fake smile like my name is Richard and keep up appearances. So what happens after generations of agency and dogma? A change no one expects. A rebel who's not going to conform because he wants his self-respect. He wants you to look in his eyes so that you know he's not fitting any stereotype. Regardless of if he's wearing all black at night. He's finished his shift. It's cold outside, so he's not going to wear any colors that are bright. Loves his sister and will step to any mister who dissed her, but won't pay any mind to a girl who wants all of his attention and time like a blister. Has a level of understanding for the law and for the officers who enforce them, but feels helpless like his people overseas when the officers enforce them to stay behind and face whatever turmoil is going to come. These are computer engineering students. Not one day in their syllabus did it say that they were going to have to run. So what do? Keep that answer for yourself. Do what's true to you, but remember, one day you're going to need some help. And it could be an older, distinguished gentleman or someone who looks like me. And your attitude and demeanor is going to determine whether they stay or leave. I'm not here to tell you what to believe. But if we don't hold on to the roots that make this family tree, believe you me, we're not having faith the size of a grain of a mustard seed. Thank you, guys.
Trail. I'm not here to make you believe. Wonderful, my young man. Wonderful, Trey. Thank you. A round of applause again. You can do better. You can do better. Wow. Thank you very much. That was emotional as well. I'm getting emotional. Thank you very much, Trey. Thank you very much. Our next act for tonight actually is quite interesting for me to introduce this act because he's the one that's making my life a little bit difficult these days. If you know what I mean, if you're training to become a local preacher, then you know what I'm talking about. Okay, yes, he works for the Methodist Church and he works with various circuits in terms of the learning and development, networking kind of. So and he lives all the way in East London, where he runs a community poetry group as well, called the Beehive Poetry Club, which is like a community for those of us that can't even write, or those that are well-established writers as well. And you know what? If you want to start writing, please, after tonight, please have a word with James Picking. My name is James, and here's James as well. A round of applause for James Picking. Thank you.
Hello, how to follow that act, right? Cool, so yeah, my name's James. I'm going to read some poetry for you. I've got a couple of poems, and they're all around this theme of story. And so the first one I've got is Chemical Constellations. Two seemingly different chemicals combine, and with those merging, a story entwines as reactions create ripples which reverberate and weave together, which encapsulates a chemical constellation. It starts with a spark. I see you. And through that lens of life, one moment vast and expansive, like pierces the canvas as one become two. And feelings become new as chemical connections become a constellation of stories. The same hands that flung stars into space make these chemicals collide to drive the stories to their place. As galaxies become memories and frontiers become fantasies, which in turn become realities. Those same hands make chemicals dance to my heartbeat. And when you're around, I dance with stars in my eyes, as what was once a waltz becomes a rumba, as reactions make moves like a comet cascading with candescence that matches the passion by which my steps move to meet yours. As chemicals collide, so do we, in body, in emotion, in soul. A story that started in a spark continues in chemical constellations. This next one's called One Thing. One thing, light and easy, permeating the vast expanse of the soul, as the energy of being fills the freeing flight of a soul pursuit. One thing, one focus, one hope. And then, like a choir, what was just one melody is then joined by harmony, at first bringing beauty, but then discord and dissonance with a jarring resonance. One thing becomes two. Two becomes three. Three becomes four. One thing, light and easy, is lost amongst the more as things are added with increasing encore and simple sound screams for the simplicity before. Cue pause. As sound leads to Sabbath, to the silence of wild spaces, that silence replaces the competition for the soul. And as slowing allows, 4 to become 3, 3 to become 2, 2 to become one thing, light and easy, permeating the vast expanse of the soul. And this last one is called The Language of Love, and it's written at that kind of connection that you might have with one person without saying words. We sit across a table. We sit across the table knowing the times that we are able to talk. There is silence between us. No fuss that the dust around us settles as eyes lock a glance. This is not silence, but a dance of emotion. As a hand touch sets into motion a chemical reaction of trust. This layer of language speaks the language of love, as this moment takes us from language above to connection below, beyond the convoluted creating of clumsy clauses. to deeper still. As humanity speaks to humanity, as the me of me speaks to the you of you, no words are said, but you speak to me true. Our eye-locked gaze from silence raise heart-pounding whispers, as my heart speaks to yours without words. This moment formed and forged by years, both the smiles and the tears, as sentences unseal and peel back the layers of language to learn the language of love, a love that does not need words. Because in the silence our souls dance. In the silence I see you and you see me. In this moment we can fully be, fully free, fully speak the language of love. And my last one's called Possibility. Look, what could possibly be? Breathe as we still ourselves into the thin space. Trace the kingdom line as the divine comes to dance and sing songs of rejoicing. Listen as whispers of what could be weaves its way to create wonder, the creator creating wonder, a moment to ponder as we pause. The hands that flung stars into space, the hands that were held into place by nails, the scars that tell stories of perfect love. Tides can turn like tables, mats can be rolled up as mighty rivers roll down, crosses can form a cruciform crown, tombs can topple temple curtains, rabbles and rubble can rise to revolutions, hands that weave that story, weave our threads into that eternal tapestry. That story is this story. Still creating and recreating, not with a moment hesitating, as hands that also made mountains, then made them to move and so to prove. That moment is this moment, that where we walk, where we gather, where we breathe, is possibility. Thank you.
Can I get some snaps in the house? My snap game is not as weak. It's weak, James, but we're snapping for you. Amazing. So many of those lines I just have like, as I become you and you become me, our souls stay in this moment of something that's like, yes, brother, yes. Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much, James. Up next, we have another talented individual. You guys are all very talented. She goes by the name of Janaya. Did I say that right? Oh. It's Janae, guys. Janae. I have even written it down, and yet still I failed. Janae is also known as Supernova, and she is a talented young woman, and she has actually put together a collection of poetry. So you can ask her about that in the breaks. Can we actually get that somewhere? Oh, yeah? Okay, good. So make sure to ask her about it in the breaks as she comes up to introduce herself in the podium.
So my name is Janae. Don't worry, it's spelt very strangely, so everyone always gets it wrong. So I'm not even going to stress about that one. I just wanted to start off, obviously I heard some people, but do you know what you do when you like feel something in a poem? Anyone? Yeah? Louder. Exactly. So when I'm performing, like I love to hear if something resonates with you, click, make any noise, like literally anything. It won't throw me off. I just like to know that those stairs have really tired me out. What I've said has like resonated with you. So yeah. And one of the first poems that I'm going to start with is from my collection. So as people know me as Supernova, this book is called This Is My Stardust, and it's something that I've left behind as a legacy. So here we go. This is called Family of Warriors. I saw struggle in my family become an accessory. In tough times, we felt chained to the shade the devil was throwing us, and in rough times, we had neck laced with pain. I had to brace myself and let the rocks fall, because in the end, I'll know I'll walk out of the battlefield wearing no jewelry at all. like my mum, who collects antique paint in a jewelry box but never dips low enough to wear it out, to cry out loud, to the public eye, I mean. I've seen her fall, and with each fall I've seen a new horizon created for me, because I endured the struggle as much as she. Maybe second hand, but it's hard when you're first hand, as her heart buried in the sand and her head fighting expectations. So at the age of 9, you build your own clan. That's me. Independency was always key. Being dependent on others is what made me weak. And I guess I'm saying it's time for me to pull back, because in times of need, that's always when support lacks. So I'll be my own foundation, bricks and plastering. I'll tend to my own needs before trying to be everyone else's piece, because when the tables turn, I'm not even given a chair but expected to bring food to feed, whether it comes in the form of knowledge or mac and cheese. But I need to save myself, and I need to eat. They say never bite the hand that feeds you, and that's why I've come back to writing, because my hand grew back. So here's my sequel. I'm going to read this one just because it's sort of it didn't start me off, but this is my poem Supernova. I wrote it 4 years ago, and it's something that resonates with me and something that I will always bring along my journey with me, even though I feel like I've grown since then. I'd still like to share it with you. So this is called Supernova. And somehow my mum ends up in all my poems. I don't know how, but she does, so I wish she was here, but yeah. Mummy said I would be a star. Now that my lips have been touched and my hips seem to bust, those fantasies of being a star are no longer what I aim for, because I came across a supernova. The dictionary definition being that a supernova is an event that occurs upon the death of certain types of stars. Do you know how many people wish to witness this demonic beauty, when the actuality is that stars are dying for the satisfaction of pleasuring our visions? My talent will not be replaced with a shine, so that when I die, you can add my name to the walk of fame and find that my existence will be limited to the mere area of a marble star. No. I will not wish to embody a supernova, because yes, beauty is a trait all young girls hope they have, but the day I struggled to pull a dress past my thighs, the main trait I searched for in myself was inspiration. Growing up in a society full of girls who wish to shine, I have changed my mentality in so many ways, understanding that my death will be memorable, not because it filled the sky with a sight of pure elegance, but because every single word I've ever spoken will rise from the cemeteries I created inside the people I have inspired. Those lines people clicked after will grow legs and walk from my ashes. My death will be more than what we call a supernova. My death will be a galaxy of all the poems I've ever written, all the poems I've ever spoken, even all the poems I threw away. I am not a supernova. Mummy, I will not be a star. I've already begun my mission to leave this world as an entire universe. And this is something that I've literally wrote like 2 days ago. I've been going through something within myself recently, and I was told to perform this because earlier someone close to me reminded me that God will never put you through anything that you cannot handle. And so all of my poems have that element of strength and that element that you can succeed, you can do it. And so, as I said, I've been going through something lately, and I believe that's why I'm here today. I believe that's why I have to read this today. And it was God that gave me these words late at night. I know he did, and it helped me in what I am going through. This is just called Poem. I had blue butterflies when I felt you. I wish I could have held you, but this world made it known that God wasn't your dealer, and so it wasn't my time to have dealt you. But I gambled when it came to you, left you to ripe just to find the light in you, couldn't let voices deepen the empty sight of you. I tried to make choices that meant I would always fight for you, but I lost my right to, because I didn't have the right to bring you into a world not worth healing from, a good dad and good mum, but an environment made to make you go numb. Who would I be if I gave you a life you'd always have to hide from, run from, possibly even divide from? I conquered love and it gave me you, but timing lacked, and so I didn't know if you'd make it through. I'm writing this in future tense with the intent for this poem to tell me if I can survive life without you, or if I was given life to bring life to you. But now that I've breathed poetry into you and over you, think I have every right to take the words from a page and breathe life into you, making poem my daughter's first name. Thank you. This is the book. Sorry. Thanks, guys. This is the book. I do have copies with me, so if you wanted to get one, you can get one. And my Instagram, if you do have Instagram, is Jars Poetry. And enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Wow. Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much. We're inspired today. Yes. Thank you very much. Well. Our next act for tonight, he is a writer, performer, and a spoken word artist. And he is a graduate from the University of East Anglia. Oh, a round of applause for that, please. And he's also a recipient of the Ink, Sweat, and Tears Scholarship as well. So you're in for a treat tonight, I'm telling you. You're in for a treat. So without much ado, let me introduce Tracy Cole Shaw. Thank you.
Thank you. Let me just get out my phone. We heard it said earlier that, wherever worship is, the Holy Spirit is. And I love that God wants to talk to us as much as we want to talk to him. And I love that he will use the most unlikely people, places, and things to do it. And the first time I ever felt God's call on my life was in a room very different to this. A nightclub in the middle of a grinding dance floor. And I'm just going to tell you, I dance into a space laced with ice, silver synth, and bloodlight. Eye whites blinking, blank to beat, smacking light, deft and wet throughout the room, on the sweet longing silken sweat of arms that honeysuckle around my stomach, all of us seeking the complement's bliss, found steeped in the tussling languages of distance versus touch, hard and dazzling and treacherous as words. Then in the bristling breach between our skins, where the dust of the glitter ball settles, pressing its cheek to our heartbeat's call, the spinning night song steadies firm our drunken sway, the passing thrill dissolving in a silent peace that wraps its bright love around us. And in the warmth of rhythm's gentle breath, some voice says starkly simply that whether grasped by every hand in the world or alone in solitary stillness, we're each already, and always have been, enough. And I just love how generously God talks to us and how it is always a voice of love and warmth. And when I started to listen, when I couldn't believe that I was made in his image, that I was a precious child of God, he said to me, "You are opals in a brooch of gold. You've got your mum's wild fuckboy vibe and Christmas tree thinking. You're the figgy pudding threepence on my right spoon. Beloved son, daughter, here, we are the banquet growing bright. Everything is profiteroles at a funeral, everything the sweet-toothed fleck of your delight, my love." so for me. To me come light electric words, a tingling courage flash frying in my wing wound, the ink of my eyes serving perfectly in his milk light, inscribing myself within him to sing the song of his fingers that he would near himself so despitefully of me. And he says, darling, everything is one fast final greeting, and I am faithful. Everything is sugar, wheat, powder, and eggs fresh. Icing isn't decorative, merely structural. Shh, speak. There's a hide and seek behind everything. That your voice is our birthday cake, Presh. That cries for help are sometimes cries for my company. That totes are we everything baked into. I just can never believe the awesomeness and the hugeness and the tininess of God's details. And so I have to question, air pearls, bubble in ice, shells of miniature space, you're even there? Yes, hun, even there. Paper cut tongue, leech palm, Demeter belly, and Ea Fiatla Yerkut for brains, Fleshberg atop a skin-lined drain, even in me. He says, yes, chicken flour, even you. You see, can I just say that everything means Pleiades, means your yeasty brow, your high horse means solar mass and the Tau. Everything is Alice Lambert posing as Elise Lambert, is tectonic gasmic plate shifts, pine dwarfing ski lifts, is integers squared, is the woman with the issue of blood, is Mrs. Lot. Everything is Margaret Thatcher, means Nelson Mandela is Pol Pot, means your flesh mum's fatal lung rot and Australia growing larger. Everything means the virus, means pictograms on papyrus. Everything fits on a wand of mascara, and lettuce is perfect in salads. And I was talking to someone earlier about the Song of Songs, and there are lots of opinions on it. And when I read it, I hear God's love song to us. I hear his utter, unequivocal, head over heels adoration of us. And he says, it's not the starburst fire of your lips over mine, or the heavy night snow of your arms tightly pressing me to your chest. It's not even the dawn mist that rises fresh from your smile. It's the universe within our silence, the breath between feeling and word.